Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game in Cape Town, South Africa, taking on the USA. Now the Blitzboks picking up from where they left off in Dubai, getting themselves another victory in their last contest up against Great Britain, whereas the USA, they are rearing to go, looking for another opportunity after being defeated by Ireland. It should be an electric contest. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Blitzboks, it will be Kieran Nokia, who was able to score himself 2 tries in the last contest. Now, there was a little bit of a concern whether or not he had a knee injury from that last match, but luckily he is all right. It is quite a dry turf in Cape Town, so it means that you do dig in a little bit more than some players probably would like. Of course, you want to have a slippery, slidey slide when you go all the way to the try line, which he has done quite a bit, I should mention, throughout his last few games. Ryan Oosthuizen in the starting side alongside Selvin Davids, two massive influential players in the starting side for the Blitzboks. Zane Davids using that physicality in the first game up against Great Britain. Roscoe Speckman, huge amount of pace. MP Visa and Justin Goodall, who actually thoroughly impressed me throughout the last game. Up against GB, he was being a lot more physical than normal, getting into the breakdowns and doing very nicely overall for that game. Then for the starting lineup of the USA, it is Madison Hughes. There's also Fulao, Bizer, Malachi Esdale, Aaron Cummings, Ben Pickleman, and also Ben Brazil. So no Lucas Camp in the starting lineup, but they will have him coming off the bench instead to have an impact throughout the second half of BDSF Fiji. And also, says Us Edits in the chat as well. But do let me know who you think will be walking away with this victory. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only moments away from the kickoff. As you can see, it says 1:18, but due to some delays earlier on in the Cape Town Sevens day, it means that the games are a little bit more behind by about maybe 5 or so minutes. But it's going to be an epic game, like I mentioned. These two sides, they have the potential because the USA actually doing extremely well in their group last week in Dubai, South Africa. They are still undefeated at this point for the 2023-24 season, getting 6 wins from 6 victories over the likes of Fiji, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia. They've done extremely well, and now Great Britain getting added to that list. It's me, Ramsel, says Usirik. So welcome in once again, mate. Hope you are very excited for the Cape Town Sevens as it takes place. We've still got a few more games that are taking place just a little bit later on today, ladies and gents. Should be a very epic day indeed. But the next one that we have got, for anyone wondering, is actually Samoa versus New Zealand. That is at 4:45 a.m. We still have one more South African game that we are covering today as well. That is going to be at 6:40 a.m. New Zealand time, or 7:40 p.m. for you guys in South Africa. That is between South Africa and Ireland. The two sides now making their way out of the tunnel. Like I mentioned, Selvin Davids and Zane Davids, both from the starting side. That has been a winning recipe for the Blitzboks throughout this new and improved season. Speckman, the pace that he has got, I believe that he has been brought in pretty much to straight replace Shilton van Wyk. Unfortunately, took a really nasty knock to his skull. It was actually Impy Visa's head that caused it, so a little bit of friendly fire there. And we appreciate you, says Us Edits. Well, I appreciate you guys being here on these live streams as well. It's always a lot of fun for the Sevens. There are always back-to-back-to-back games, but you guys bring the atmosphere just like the people are in the stadium. And yeah, I cannot wait to see who walks away with the victory. I feel like the Blitzboks should win it comfortably, but you just never know. In a game of Sevens, things can change so quickly. And I feel like this is one of those scenarios that if the USA really start well, perhaps that's the kind of pressure we haven't seen South Africa under so far throughout this season. We've always seen them scoring first and staying ahead. Whereas in this contest, if USA can really strike early, that would put them in a whole different ballpark to what they're used to. The best streamer says Us Edit, so thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. USA going to be kicking off this one from left to right, and it has gone the 10 meters. It actually wasn't going to for a start. Nokia getting wrestled towards the touchline, but just staying in the field of play. A little bit of a physical counter ruck there from the USA, and they've actually managed to get themselves the scrum. Prediction for Fiji versus Argentina. We've actually got a video coming out probably in about, I'd say 30 minutes time or so. Nadro Edits with my prediction for that game. But I did go very bold with the prediction, so be sure to check that out. We will also have a New Zealand versus Samoa preview being released in the very near future as well. Now scrum feed. Ball being put in by the USA. Selvin Davids slapping the arm. Now, man actually got penalised for that in the last game, but must have timed it well, Selvin Davids. Malachi Esdale trying to break through. Good old manages to stop him. Counter ruck not quite working out for the Blitzboks, but they love committing men to the breakdown. That is where they're so dangerous. Nokia with the one-on-one tackle there out wide. USA short side with Malachi Esdale. Has to offload it. Decides to hang on to it and does lose the ball. Zane Davids manages to clean it up. Now Nokia goes across to Davids. Here comes the pace of Roscoe Spickman. His stepping is electric. And so is this man Nokia. Dragged down on the halfway line. USA committing into the breakdown. They don't get the ball back. I hope you're good. Why are they not playing, or why are they only playing 12 teams and not 16 this season? Thanks. It's very confusing, to be honest. I believe the reasoning behind it was they wanted to have closer games, but in doing so, you've cut off 4 nations. Like the fact that we don't have Kenya, Japan, and then maybe either a Germany or a Tonga or someone along those lines on the scene is quite sad, I think. Nice pass out wide. Selvin Davids to Ryan Ustays, and now good old back across. Rough pass there from Roscoe Spickman, not quite claimed by Nokia. Another scrum feed for the USA. 2 minutes into this contest, we are yet to see a Blitzboks try. And I'll be honest, that is actually becoming a rarity that they don't score within those first couple minutes throughout their last few games. They're just such an dangerous attacking side. 4.5 minutes still remaining in this first half in front of Cape Town. So we can see a lot of nervous faces. The last time the Blitzboks actually won in Cape Town, I believe, it was about 2019. So it's been a little while. They want to continue that momentum that they created from the Dubai's competition. Exactly, Kenya made the Olympics. They're not playing the season as sad, says Pixie Dust, because I see that they're playing in like I think it's a qualification for whoever's lowest ranked actually gets relegated and a side does come up. They're playing in a competition up against like Papua New Guinea, Tonga, all those sides, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, will be good for them because they are playing some sevens, but I feel like they are at the level that these top sides are, if that makes sense. Like, they qualified for the Olympics. Like you said, they've beaten some of the top sides on the circuit multiple times, yet they've been taken out. Japan as well, like, yes, they struggle at times, but you still think of that Japanese side and think, yeah, they can give sides a good competition. That's going to be a great kick from the USA. From deep inside of their own half to now only about 22 metres out from the South African try line. And I am Sean back, says Ryan. Welcome back, mate. You're doing extremely well. We're now 23 metres out from the try line. Selvin Davids, and it is his own try line, I should have mentioned, so a long way to go for the Blitzboks. Still a long way to go in this contest as well, with the 10 minutes remaining. Goes South Africa, says Rohit. It's nicely claimed by Ryan Ustazen, looking straight into the sun in Cape Town. Of course, it's going to be a little bit after 2:25 in the afternoon. Over there in Cape Town, Zane Davids fell the wrong way, and it's actually ended up with a penalty going the way of the USA. Now using some pace, it's Cummings, but beautiful tackle made on him. By, who was that? I think that they've made an early change. It's a loose ball. Nokia's knocked it on. Or in fact, no, sorry, they've said it's gone backwards. I'm not sure who that was. It wasn't Impivisa, and it wasn't any of the Davids that they've got. Oh, it's knocked on by the US on the halfway line again. Ball just not quite sticking in either of the side's hands currently. Okay, thanks for explaining, says Pixie Dust. But yeah, I'm in full agreement that I feel like they should have it still 16 because it makes it so much easier in terms of working out who's going through to the quarterfinals. Now we've got this whole scenario of you want to try and get losing bonus points so that you've got more of a chance of finishing third in your group. Like, it's a bit strange. It will take a bit to get used to, but we'll get there. The end, I averaged, thanks for the good content. Cheers from Durban. It says, Brian, it is great to have you back once again. It was actually JC Pretorius who was on the field very briefly. Or was that JC, or was it a different Pretorius, actually? TM Pretorius, my apologies. I was going to say that, not JC. JC's playing a bit of Union at the moment. Will you watch the Coral Coast Sevens? which takes place in Fiji next year. Says Naro Edits. I'd love to be able to cover it if I find a way of being able to watch it, of course. Would be pretty awesome. I'm sure if it's anything like the international Fiji side, there will be tons of exciting tries being scored. Quick tap taken by Selvin Davids. And now kicked him on from Roscoe Speckman. Good pace shown by Impi Fisa. And the ball will sit up for Ryan Oosterhuizen. He might have got there. Although his knee is very close to the dead ball line. So they have a few things that they do need to check. First of all, was there a knock-on? I think, like I've just said, it might have been kicked into a South African head. Oosterhuizen, was his foot in touch? I think that's a try if he's got it down. Or has that foot. That foot's real close. That's like this. Of whether or not they give. I think that's down before he hits the line. He's going to award the try. And South Africa now taking the lead up against the USA. It has taken 5 minutes. But they have broken through. Got themselves the first try. And it's none other than Ryan Oosterhuizen who has been able to score it. And for a man who's done so well, it is surprising the lack of tries that he has been able to score. He has been absolutely phenomenal throughout this leg and the Dubai Sevens leg as well. The kick has gone over from Gerald, so that will now make the score 7-0 in favour of South Africa. Are you tired, Bud? Says Caspian. I have been up for quite a few hours overall, but yeah, I'm going to be running off extremely low amounts of sleep tomorrow. Because pretty much after the Sevens happens, I think I get 2 hours of sleep and then I'm actually going to a family lunch, which will probably go for a few hours. And then I'll come home, get everything ready for the next live streams, probably a couple previews as well. I'll probably get about 5 hours sleep over the weekend. But that's all right because we're kind of used to it with the Sevens and also with the Rugby World Cup that recently happened. Nice driving run from Aaron Cummings. Now going to the short side. The rush defence there from Speckman. In fact, it was good roll. Didn't quite work out. Now going to the right-hand side here. Space opening up for the USA. It's going to be Malachi Esdale with some very quick feet. Manages to break through. Speckman takes him down. Offloads up to Cummings. Doesn't like to pass, but he has there. And it looks like it's opened up another chance here for the USA. Tackled on the 22, getting back up to the feet to protect the ball. That's not good, but it's not ideal in terms of the healthy amount of sleep. But with the Sevens and everything that's going on, we don't normally get too much over a weekend. But that is dropped by Aaron Cummings. Another chance for the USA squandered by not being able to hang on to it. And they'll be disappointed because that was their chance to score just before the end of the first half. Couple big shots coming in, of course, from South Africa. Their defence is always solid. Great break of the line for the USA. It just dropped. That's the same story in Fiji. Says Naro Edits. And yeah, I guess for us in New Zealand and Fiji, the time zones for these Northern Hemisphere ones are pretty rough. Overall, Selvin Davids now charging forward here for the Blitzboks. Gets it off now on the inside to Speckman, and it's a brutal game, this Sevens stuff, because it's a try to South Africa between the sticks. Beautifully done by Roscoe Speckman. We'll go, hey, Hamish, are you doing balls to Saracens? Unfortunately, it does overlap with South Africa versus Ireland, so we won't actually be able to do both of them, so I believe we are doing Ireland versus South Africa in that scenario. Great run from Selvin Davids. Inside ball off to Roscoe Speckman. Bizer beaten for pace and also sent the wrong way. Meant that it was going to be extremely tricky for him to get there. And what should we talk about this stream? Says Ryan. I mean, the last one that we had you on, we were talking about fishing, weren't we? But yeah, hopefully not food, because I am starting to get quite hungry. And it's currently like 1:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. I'm by the Sevens Day 2 tomorrow, says Yanlu. You see there, the coach of the Blitzboks wheeling himself out on his, pretty much his little scooter that he's got. Unfortunately suffered an Achilles injury, so did end up having surgery. Wasn't able to travel due to that. What URC games are you doing, says Caspian? There are no URC games this weekend, but the games that we are hoping to cover tomorrow. It all depends in terms of who goes through, of course, in the sevens. But we are hoping to do a lot more of the Champions Cup next week compared to what we will be able to do this week. If there is a game that we are covering this week, it would be the Stormers matchup. I would be hoping to do. And then also, I think there's another game along the lines that I'm hoping to. And 5% think USA are going to win. And he's comedy. Says Bruce, 5% is probably not too bad overall. Like, when you consider the amount of upsets we've seen, we saw France beat Fiji, we saw Australia beat Samoa, we saw Canada beat New Zealand. I bet you it was less than 5% who picked the Canadians to win that game. Does anyone know when the Curry Cup starts? I think it's in February. Maybe. Are you going to cover the Super Rugby season next year? We are indeed, even though they gave us a copyright strike when we were doing the final, which was very unfortunate, but we will be, of course, doing that Super Rugby season. Our second half just around the corner from getting underway. And hello, says Dry Tone Down Under. Welcome in, Amelia. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you've been enjoying the BBL as well since it's come back. And am here, says Dry Tone Down Under. And there as well, those men are wearing watermelons on their head. You couldn't do that in New Zealand because watermelons are very expensive. I think at one stage they were $50 per watermelon. So that would be more expensive than just buying a hat. Now Selvin Davids about to kick this one off. Look at there, Blitzboks must build up a big score before the second half. They should put the pressure on the USA. Says Langford, but it is going to be kicked off high by Selvin Davids. Not ideal, the Renegades lost last night. But at least we ain't the Stars. Yeah, they didn't really perform, did they? First game up against the Brisbane Heat. And now, USA with possession, counter ruck from Speckman. Has been penalised for it. Now Cummings takes the quick tap. He has been able to hang on to that one. Lucas Lecamp has made his way onto the field as well. Big shot from Goodall. I'm not sure how much arms were involved in it. Lucas Lecamp now running hard, looking for his pass. Doesn't manage to find it. And South Africa all over him in the breakdown. Now going to the short side. Pinning the ears back. That looked like a shoulder charge from Goodall. Okay, it's going to be a TMO decision here. Maybe the Chiefs or Crusaders will be in the final next year. Says Nadroid, it's proud to say Team South Africa, go guys, go. Says Erica. And also, we got the Scorchers tomorrow and we got Quinton de Kock back in the squad. Are you going to stream the Renegades game? Probably not tomorrow, mainly with the sevens that we have got on alongside, I think just the sevens actually overlaps with it. So he was dropping down. Goddard, he tries to wrap the arms, but he was still going for a big shot. I think this should just be a penalty here. And a women team is not the best, says Ryan. Recommendation is yellow card. Now, that's probably a harsh yellow card to Gold, although it's not unfamiliar for him in terms of the amount of yellow cards that he has received throughout his Blitzboks tenure. He actually got 2 or 3 last week in Dubai from only 6 games. We stream the Test cricket when that starts on Thursday. Is that Australia? Who is Australia playing? They play in India in Test matches? No. I'm really bad with my cricket schedule at the moment, I'll be honest. I feel like the amount that I've been concentrating on sevens has made my brain really not work for other sports. Because I know that Bangladesh and New Zealand, of course, have got another one coming up. So Lucas Lecamp on the overlap has got the try. And he has scored it between the sticks as well to make it a little bit easier for the kick. Just popping in to say hello, morning, Amish, says Yvonne. Welcome in, mate. I just called you mate. I don't think I've ever called you mate before, Yvonne. So I don't know whether I should apologise for that, or whether you should be flattered because I guess you're one of the lads. But yeah, I hope you are having a good day so far. Australia-Pakistan on Thursday. Remember me, says Patricia. I do indeed. You were here for last week's Dubai Sevens. Great try for the USA, trying to bring it back a little bit more. But Australia-Pakistan could be doable. Is it in Australia, Amelia? Flattered, says Yvonne in there as well. Now it's kicked off high. Waiting for this one to come down. Nicely taken by Selvin Davids. South Africa trying to hang on to that ball in the breakdown. It's taken a little while to come out here. Visa has been able to use it. Awkward bouncing ball to Tian Pretoria. Sits up for Lucas LeCamp, and he will score another one between the sticks. That's going to make the score 14 points to 14. Our winner South Africa versus India test. I think that's coming up relatively soon. So it's in Perth, the first test on Thursday. Also, it would be a doable time, I would say. I miss a bit of it because of my brother's graduation, so he's right time down under. And the good news is, with the cricket, like if we were to receive any sort of copyright strike or anything like that, it wouldn't affect the sevens. That was the main thing of why we weren't covering the BBL at the start as well. It wasn't so much that we didn't want to. No URC today, Caspian, it's Champions Cup, says Yvonne. And there as well. But 14-14, good odds. Yellow card has been quite costly at the moment here. 2 tries being scored throughout that time. 4 minutes remaining. And I should mention, if the scores stay level at full time, we will be going to golden point time. Are you in New Zealand or Australia? I am in New Zealand. So it is currently 1:41 a.m. My brother is graduating primary school and his graduation is taking place on Thursday evening. Says Dry Time Down Under or Amelia. Also at the start of it as well. So at least you'll know whether or not it's going to be a good test maybe by the time you get back, whether there's a few wickets fallen or whether it's a high scorer one. Nokia now with the step. Lucas LeCamp missing the tackle, but Esdale manages to stop him, and he had to because Nokia, when he drives those legs, is extremely hard to stop. Roscoe Speckman kicks the ball in behind. I think he might have been taken out there. It's going to be a 22 dropout. The crowd are not happy about it. They are going to check upstairs. Was Speckman taken out? Was there any malice from the USA? If there was, this could end up being a yellow card as well, perhaps even a penalty try. Friday I have off, and then Saturday I'm off to the Regent Theatre for round 6 of Moreland Road. It's a 22. They've gone upstairs. They've checked it out. Yeah. I mean, Ben Pinkelman slightly changed his line. But it's one of those tricky ones because of where he's tripped compared to where Davis is tripped. It's actually been charged down that 22 dropout. That is something you don't see too often. It's pronounced Moulin Rouge or Rugi, maybe. Now, nice step in from Cummins. Out to the right-hand side. Quick hands. Loose ball. Tried to kick it away. And Nokia picks it up. Esdale has had his hands full. And speaking of hands full, he's now got the ball. I've called it as a knock-on against him. Oh. That's unlucky for that man there, Esdale. I think he almost had that. But now South Africa in a very good position on the field. 30 metres out from the line. 2 minutes 20 remaining on the clock. So plenty of time for both of these sides to be able to get themselves a possible match winner. Looks like now it is going to be the change. Zane David's going off. And then Shelley making his way onto the field. You can see some nervous South African fans. They want to see their side do well, go to the US. See Nadro edits there. And Ronald Brown now. Going to be time off. Sort it out, says the referee. Now, we have actually seen Ronald Brown do quite well late in a contest before. He's able to add that real X factor, definitely off the back of a scrum, normally pierces around the side of the breakdown. I don't see this one being any different. I think if he gets a chance to run it, he certainly will. Big push there from South Africa going to the short side. Now one-on-one, Dawald Human. Tackled low. USA's defence has been pretty solid throughout this game. It's Chalet. Now passing it across. Tian Pretorius looking for that next passing option. He's taken down USA back to their feet. Not able to get the turnover. We look at the rugby today, says Eddie. And there certainly is rugby union, rugby sevens, a whole heap happening in the rugby world currently. Roscoe Speckman goes across to Tian Pretorius. Is this the chance that the Blitzboks need? Some great stepping from Ronald Brown. Can he find an offload? Oh, it's close to a penalty. Roscoe Speckman now going wide. Impey Visa's waiting for it, and he does get the ball. Scores the try. And with 80 seconds remaining now, will make the game a little bit more lopsided. But the big question is, will this kick go over? Because it's an extremely important one. Do you know when the next Curry Cup? I think it's February or March that it does start up. We'll go there then in May. Go see Sarah Brightman as Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. Favorite horror movie? I don't really watch horror movies. I jump scare too easily. I watched Cabin in the Woods, and I thought it was a comedy for a start, or I was told it was a comedy. It was not. Are the Sharks playing today? They certainly are. They are playing in the Challenge Cup, I believe, against Pau. That kick has missed. 30 seconds remaining, and the points difference between these two sides is 5. If USA can get themselves a converted try, they will win this contest. But if South Africa can hang on to that ball for the last 15 seconds or so, South Africa pushing things too fine. The USA, that's a knock on, I thought, although no, it's going to be play on. Ronald Brown will score the try for the Blitzboks, and that will close out the contest. Must have been a hand to the USA that managed to slap it backwards. So from there it was play on, and Ronald Brown scores the try. The crowd are up now as their side have confirmed their victory. Yeah, Oscar Speckman must not have got a hand to that. Must have been off Lucas Lecamp. And that kick has gone over as well. He's celebrating there, Ronald Brown, laughing in the face of the USA as he was scoring the try. And they will now get themselves a nice win over the USA. Have you seen the Friday the 13th movies? I have not, no. And who's playing next is Ryan's the next game that is taking place. I believe that's the last men's game that we've got for a little while. But the next contest that we will be covering on the channel will be the game between New Zealand and Samoa. That is going to be taking place at 4:45 a.m. New Zealand time. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to leave a like on this live stream if you haven't already. Well played, Blitzboks, says Langford. So yeah, managing to get the win, 26 points to 14. Not quite as comfortable as they would have liked. They left it a bit late, but they still know how to win contests. A nice go, Blitzboks. So yeah, the next game that is taking place for the men's is actually Australia-Canada. That is at 4:28 a.m., but we aren't covering that game. Instead, the next game that we have got is New Zealand versus Samoa at 4:50 a.m. But we have also got a preview of the match between New Zealand and Samoa coming out on the channel very soon, ladies and gents. So be sure to check that one out. And then alongside that, also Fiji-Argentina, a preview of that game just around the corner as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.